this problem. And so I look forward to borrowing David's expertise in that regard in fashioning solutions.
But whatever he chooses to work on next, Ryu has already proven he wants to change city government and make it more people-friendly and livable for all residents. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
By the way, that anti-mansionization ordinance for Sherman Oaks will be voted on in City Council this month. And stay tuned for the second part of the special report as we find out Ryu's plans for guiding LA's future. While earthquake upgrades are expected to cause a shakeup at LA high-rises and apartment buildings, as Gil Reyes reports, city leaders approve sweeping seismic retrofits in preparation for the big one.
It's the largest earthquake retrofit plan in U.S. history. Some 15,000 L.A. area buildings slated for upgrades. The mayor's signature makes it official.
Will we be prepared? I think the answer is going to be a resounding yes.
It's going to make such a huge, incredible difference.
Dr. Lucy Jones, the city's official earthquake advisor, thanks elected leaders for making the deal. Around 1,000 concrete buildings dotting LA's major boulevards will undergo mandatory seismic retrofits. Owners have 25 years to comply. In addition, more than 13,000 wood frame structures face a 7-year deadline for compliance. Wood frame or soft story buildings typically have weak supports, garages, and housing units stacked on top. Prime example, the Northridge Meadow Apartments, which collapsed in the '94 quake, killing 16 people. Officials are focused on preventing similar tragedies.
We need to make sure that every aspect that we can predict, that we take care of, and that we do the work in advance so that we don't have the disaster, the scale that we might otherwise have.
We cannot afford complacency. Complacency risks lives. Complacency risks our neighbors. Complacency risks our economy. And we refuse to be complacent.
But still being debated, who will pay for these upgrades? The city's housing department recommending a 50-50 split between property owners and tenants. Local leaders are weighing their options. In Van Nuys, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The LA Department of Building and Safety will start issuing courtesy letters to apartment building owners in a few weeks. While state tax credits adopted last year to stop runaway production have already created thousands of jobs. Anita Bennett takes a look at how the city of Los Angeles and local families are benefiting.
As production workers start their day at Fox Studios in West LA, Mayor Eric Garcetti is visiting the lot to explain how expanded tax credits for film and TV productions have been a boon for local workers and the state economy.
So far, between the film and the television, we're at $1.05 billion of productions that wouldn't be here in the first year, the first 2 rounds, not even a year.
Among the shows taking advantage of those tax credits, American Horror Story Hotel. The FX series previously filmed in Louisiana, but now it shoots here on Stage 16. At a news conference on the show's set, a Fox executive said in just a few months, this one series has pumped millions of dollars into the local economy.
A 1-hour drama like American Horror Story is a high economic impact production. And it's a job and revenue creator and generator. The particular production alone will spend, as you said, $55 million and probably more. And that's over a 7-month period of time.
American Horror Story Hotel employs more than 200 production workers, and state leaders say by keeping those workers here, well, their families are benefiting as well.
Our focus was to bring jobs back to California. Our focus was reuniting families that were split because the breadwinner in the film industry and the TV industry had to go to other states and work many months on out, in some cases 9 months, 10 months, 12 months.
So far, 22 projects have qualified for the expanded tax credits. And according to Mayor Garcetti, American Horror Story Hotel is a prime example of the program's success. In West Los Angeles, I'm Anita Bennett for LA This Week.
Other shows that have qualified for the tax credits include Twin Peaks and the political comedy Veep, which recently relocated its production from Maryland to Los Angeles. And local TV production isn't the only industry boosting our local economy. Other business leaders in the city showed us their blueprint for a more robust LA economy during the annual Access LA City Hall event. Anna Marcos has more.
200 business leaders have taken over the reins at City Hall for a day, setting the agenda for a more business-friendly city at this Access LA City Hall event. One thing both sides agree on, they want to get business booming in the City of Angels and create more jobs.
It's incumbent upon us now to see what industries are growing and get them here.
We're going to encourage the members of the City Council to make jobs and helping existing businesses and attracting new businesses. We want that to be the #1 priority.
Business leaders are also pushing for continued investment in LAX and the Port of Los Angeles, educating the workforce of the future, creating more housing, and ending homelessness are also tops on the list, as is reducing LA's gross receipts tax. LA has lowered the tax by 16%, but many feel it's not enough.
The City of Los Angeles has some of the highest gross receipts taxes in the region, and it discourages investments in Los Angeles.
We badly need to see that gross receipts tax either reduced to the lowest level or completely eliminated to stay competitive.
Garcetti says since he came into office, the city has grown by 86,000 jobs, while unemployment has dropped by 3%. TV and film production are up, and LA County now has the highest number of high-tech companies in the nation. But there's still a lot more to do.
A lot of the times, it's the big businesses who stay in business, and the smaller businesses don't have an opportunity to grow. And I'd like to see a change in that.
Bureaucracy. We really need to break down the walls of City Hall and make it easier to do business.
It used to take a year and a half to open the average restaurant. Now it takes about half that, which is great that we've improved, but there are some other cities that do in less than 3 months.
And there is still uncertainty for many businesses over the city's new minimum wage hike set to start next summer.
There will be some segments in the service and industry sector that may not be able to have as many employees or not have them work as many hours. So time will tell. And time will tell whether LA can find the right balance between job growth and a healthy working climate for both businesses and their workers. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
City Controller Ron Galperin and his office are now developing a website that will provide regular updates and details on LA's economy. While President Barack Obama has declared October National Energy Action Month as his staff releases a new report on climate change and our energy needs. Anna Marcos has more on LA's response, a resilient solar pilot project, which could mean the difference between life or death during big weather emergencies.
Recent weather disasters have some thinking the Armageddon of climate change is upon us. Fires in Northern California that raged for almost a month. Killer flash floods in Utah. More floods that left South Carolina underwater. And it's not over. Some say LA is about to get walloped by Godzilla.
It's getting scary. And here in Los Angeles, after years of crippling drought, we're expecting an El Nino that's been nicknamed Godzilla for how bad we expected. The days of safe, predictable, reliable weather are past. We're moving into an uncertain future where we need to be ready for anything.
And city leaders are getting weather ready. They're starting with the energy we rely on. Their latest weapon against weather mayhem, the Resilient Solar Pilot Project.
That means when the power goes out and conventional systems, solar systems shut down, these resilient solar systems can keep going.
Soon, one of LA's fire stations will try out the new Resilient Solar Pilot System, which will provide crucial solar power without having to rely on the electrical grid if power goes out during a weather disaster.
Think about if we lose power and we get a call. In the middle of the night, we're not going to have any lights. We're going to have to figure out how to open these doors. And if we have to refuel our rig, we can't do it because we don't have power.
U.S. Department of Energy Secretary Ralph Moniz joined city leaders to stress the importance of bringing our energy systems into the 21st century.
We have often an aging infrastructure. We have an inadequate infrastructure in many parts of the country.
But in L.A., energy production, especially in times of disaster, is about to take a leap into the future. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Now, the Obama administration has released a report called Climate Change and the U.S. Energy Sector. It provides a blueprint for what we must do to prepare for climate change and our changing energy needs. And California is taking bold action to address our changing climate and energy needs as a landmark climate bill is signed into law. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti expands on his Save the Drop campaign, and a new sidewalk improves safety at his senior center. All these stories in City Beat. Mayor Eric Garcetti launched the second phase of the Save the Drop water conservation campaign, urging Angelenos to capture the drop should an expected El Nino deliver heavier than usual rainfall in the coming months. It's estimated that an El Nino winter will produce billions of gallons of stormwater runoff. The new phase includes an expanded Save the Drop LA website featuring a calculator for Angelenos to measure their water usage, additional tips, and rebate information. The mayor said that LA is leading the way in water conservation, and a big part is taking advantage of every opportunity to save water. Mayor Garcetti also joined government, business, environmental, and community leaders at the Griffith Observatory as Governor Jerry Brown signed into law Senate Bill 350. Considered landmark legislation, SB 350 bolsters California's commitment to energy efficiency and renewable energy. SB 350 requires the state to generate half of its electricity from renewable energy sources and double energy efficiency in all buildings by 2030.
With SB 350, California is building on an incredible legacy of being environmental leaders, not waiting for action, but taking action.
A brand new sidewalk now welcomes community members to the Lincoln Heights Senior Center. Councilmember Gil Cedillo recently unveiled a new and improved sidewalk. The repairs came after community members complained that the buckled sidewalk and cracks in the cement were dangerous and prevented safe access to the center.
They fixed it pretty good so we can come in and out.
People who come with walkers or canes, wheelchairs, can now come and access the services and the resources of this senior center as well as any other person.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti's game plan to tackle illegal dumping includes a dedicated group of civic-minded volunteers. As Gil Reyes reports, enforcement is expected to be very local.
Organizing events like community cleanups, LA's neighborhood councils are as local as you can get in improving streets and shaping policies. Members know the problems in their neighborhoods because they live and work there every day.
Members and committee members need to know about ethics, about how to lobby if you're working with the city.
At their yearly Congress of Neighborhood Councils at City Hall, LA Mayor Eric Garcetti introduces a way to battle the problem of illegal dumping. His Clean Streets plan calls for each neighborhood council to assign block captains. They'll be in charge of spotting and reporting problems, one captain for every city block.
To be able to be vigilant and just take on a small chunk of the territory you represent. Report illegal dumping or bulky items to our strike team. And then we're also asking you to participate in at least 3 cleanups a year, which is nothing. Every 4 months, come out one afternoon, one morning, and help us clean up.
The initiative patterned after Garcetti's graffiti removal program, which he launched as a councilman. Garcetti says block captains helped reduce tagging in parts of his former district by 80%. Along with block captains, Garcetti also wants team captains in every neighborhood.
Team captains will be the eyes and ears on the ground, organizing some of those cleanups, making sure that sidewalks in the area remain clear, and recruiting other members of the Clean Streets team so that we can build those numbers up and up and up.
A problem the mayor and all 95 volunteer neighborhood councils could soon be tackling block by city block. At City Hall, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The mayor says illegal dumping happens all over the city, with the highest pockets traditionally in South and Northeast Los Angeles. Well, the Metro Expo La Brea rail station was renamed in honor of the late Ethel Bradley, former LA Mayor Tom Bradley's wife, and the city's longest reigning First Lady. She was credited with inspiring black women to improve their social, educational, and economic status. That's the focus of This Week in Tweets. LA County Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas, who was in attendance, tweeted, "I'm honored to dedicate Expo La Brea at Metro Los Angeles Station to Ethel Bradley, a woman of exquisite style and grace." Ridley's communication deputy posted Supervisor Thomas with Phyllis and Ethel Bradley at the Metro Los Angeles Station, named after their mother. In another post, she tweeted, Phyllis and Lorraine express gratitude for Metro Los Angeles dedication of Ethel Bradley Expo La Brea Station. And the mayor's office wrote, honored LA history, dedicating Expo La Brea Station in the name of our city's longest-serving First Lady, Ethel Bradley. And that's a look at This Week in Tweets. Well, experts on LA history know all about the famous pobladores who founded Los Angeles in 1781. But as Gil Reyes reports, their little-known descendants lace up their sneakers every year to carry on a proud tradition on the city's birthday.
With beating drums and colorful costumes, descendants of the city's founding fathers make the traditional 9-mile journey every year, just as their ancestors did 234 years ago.
You look around, there's buildings, but if you could just take a moment and reflect that it wasn't here and it was very important to them, and they started their lives to make Los Angeles what it is today, and we don't want to be forgotten.
Jerry Anopa Garcia says she's a descendant of the Quintero family, one of the 11 founding families of the city of Los Angeles. In 1781, this group of pobladores walked from the San Gabriel Mission to what's now known as downtown's Olvera Street. Here, they established El Puebla de Nuestra Señora la Reina de los Ángeles, or Los Angeles. This walk, a recreation of that original journey.
This event has always been a great opportunity to honor Los Angeles, original founders, and to acknowledge the contributions of generations of people from all cultural and ethnic backgrounds.
Thomas Mendez traces his lineage to another founding family, Los Morenos. He's also related to 2 soldiers who accompanied the settlers on the original walk.
Which is very unique, and we proved that through our DNA testing as well. And then 2 military escorts, which was Lugo and Coda.
Stephen DeBoer, also a descendant of the soldiers, brought along his son, Benjamin.
We're always teaching him about his family and his history and to try and pass it on to the next generation. So.
In hopes of carrying on a proud tradition every year. On Olvera Street, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The entire walk takes about 3 hours. Since 1981, it's taken place every year around the time of the city's birthday. While the LA Zoo gets visitors into the Hollywood spirit, get in touch with your artistic side with a drawing event, and the dead come alive at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. All this in this week's Things to Do. It's that time again for ghosts, goblins, and everything spooky. The all-new Boo at the LA Zoo offers Halloween fun throughout October. Visitors wandering through the spooky surroundings can expect to unearth shocking facts about animals, superpowers such as heightened senses that help them survive in their environments. Get frightened with a new graveyard safari Hail Bale maze stocked with tombstones and silhouette cutouts of skunks, possums, raccoons, and other creatures that inhabit backyards in the dead of the night. There's also a boneyard education station, animal skeletons, and skulls. The festivities go on until October 31st. The LA Zoo is located at 5333 Zoo Drive. For more information, visit lazoo.org. The Big Draw LA is a movement that's part of a worldwide month-long festival designed to provide opportunities for people of all ages to discover or return to the pleasure of drawing. The fest features events spread across the month as well as free events every weekend around the city. On Saturday, October 24th, design your own zine. All you need to bring is an idea, a subject that you're passionate about, a story you want to tell, or even just the kind of doodling you enjoy. You'll design a front and back cover for a zine, and while the screens are being prepared, create the content that will go in between them. The fun takes place at 3 p.m. at the Pop Pop Books and Print at 5002 York Boulevard in North Highland Park. For more, visit thebigdrawla.org. Hollywood Forever Cemetery brings to life the largest Day of the Dead celebration in California during its 16th annual Dia de los Muertos festival. The cemetery grounds are covered with art exhibitions, dance rituals, musical performances, children's arts and crafts projects, and food vendors aplenty. You'll see altars to dead created by community artists. You can either watch or participate in the skeleton costume contest. It's sure to be a spectacular display, as always. Join the spooky fun at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, located at 6000 Santa Monica Boulevard. For tickets, visit ladayofthedead.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Bulky item pickup? Call 311, the toll-free number for non-emergency services. 311, your one call to City Hall.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm an Iyengar yoga teacher here in Los Angeles, and you're watching LA City View, Channel 35, Our City, Our Channel. Namaste.
Good morning and welcome to the Los Angeles City Council. Today is Tuesday, October 20th. I'm Councilmember Mitchell Englander. I want to thank you all for being here. We are live streaming on the internet as well as live on Channel 35. And so with that, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Blumenfeld, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Fuentes, Harris, Dawson, Huizar, Caress, Krikoria, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue, Weston. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Great. Thank you very much. First order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Okay. Councilmember Bonin moves. Councilmember Buscaino seconds. Councilmember, let's see. Okay, we're good there.
Next is committed to resolutions for approval.
Okay. Councilmember Huizar moves and Councilmember Koretz seconds.
Mr. President, today is Tuesday, and now be the time for the flag salute.
All right, if I could ask everybody to please rise for the flag salute. I'd ask Councilmember Bonin to please lead us in the flag salute today.
If everybody could please place their hands over their hearts. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Bonin, for that. All right, members, if I could please direct your attention to the agenda. Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and run through the agenda now.
Mr. President, before we begin, there's a request to continue items 1T and item 4 to November 10th, and items 1P, V, and X to November 17th.
Okay, that'll be the order without objection. Thank you. Next items, please.
Items 1 through 9 are items noticed for public hearing. The Department of Building and Safety reports that items 1A, J, K, L, M, R, and S may be received and filed, inasmuch as the liens have been paid or are single-family owner-occupied dwellings and are exempt from lien.
All right, that'll be the order, and we've got a request to continue item 1W for 2 weeks as well.
And because of the recess, that will be November 10th.
Okay, that'll be the order without objection, and I believe we have cards on some of those items as well.
Yes, cards on items 1, 3, and 5.
All right, we'll go ahead and hold those items on the desk for those. Cards for the remaining items, colleagues, if we can please, any specials? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and open the roll on the remaining items. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Great, thank you very much. Next items, please.
Items 10 through 22 are items for which public hearings have been held.
Okay, we have a request to hold 19. Any other items, council members? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and open the roll on the remaining items with the exception of 19. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those items are approved. Thank
And
you
Mr. President, for item 10, the ordinance, that will be held over for 1 week unless reconsidered with 12 members.
Great, thank you very much. Okay. Next items, please.
Items 23 through 27 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes required for consideration.
Okay, those are 10 votes for consideration. We'll go ahead and open the roll for consideration. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those items are now before us, colleagues. Any specials? Seeing none, do we have cards?
Yes, cards on items 23, 24, and 26.
Okay, we'll go ahead and hold those items for cards. The remaining items, 25 and 27, A through B, we'll go ahead and open the roll. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved.
And on the supplemental agenda, Mr. President, item 28 is an item for which a public hearing has been held.
Okay, colleagues, we'll go ahead and vote on 28. Please open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take Mr. Walsh on items 1, 3, and 24. 1, 3, and 24.
I also signed up for 23. John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org, or J. Walsh Confidential, or tweeting at Hollywood Dems. Okay, as far as number 1 is concerned, these are building and safety reports, nuisance abatements. We always believe that if the landlord is in good faith, then these liens should be dismissed or reduced. We won't go into all of them, but you actually do a good job on this compared to other cities. The next item is number 3. Okay, this concerns the Gang Reduction Committee. Well, the Gang Reduction Committee should have been out last night at Holman Church when the mayor was held hostage by Black Lives Matter. They didn't hurt him. This Gang Reduction Committee is what they're using this for is to vacate alleys and give the property to favored developers. That's what's actually happening here. On number 3 and on a number of the others, they're relative proceedings for the alley. Well, you know what? We want our alleys. Put a fence on them. And the gangs aren't the problem. The politicians are. Number 23, and that is, this concerns the Sports and Entertainment District specific plan. This is LA Live. I invite everybody to go out and check out the entertainment district specific There's no plan. It's crazy. It's a neon wilderness. You have people walking around, and incidentally, blacks and Hispanics are not welcome. Get rid of Beck. That's at the LA Sports and Entertainment District area south of downtown. Number 24. Okay, this concerns waiving street widening. This is a gift, again, to the developer. The developer wants to put in very expensive houses, get rid of every black and Hispanic that they can, bring in people from my group, and my mother's name was Berger, okay? From my group, and get rid of you. There is now a plan for West Side Jews to move into South LA and push the remaining blacks out. And if ACLU doesn't like that, fine. They're involved in it. Okay, so what this means is street widening at 3644 Overland Avenue. And then it says, inasmuch as the widening of the street would do little to enhance traffic. No, it would help enhance traffic. If you are in the valley and you are stuck in traffic, it's because the developers they waived the obligation, the city council, so the developers would widen the street. Somehow, I don't know why, driving a car has become, for a minority, politically incorrect. You blacks and Hispanics, you take the train. You take the bus while we widen the street for all the white people who are moving to the valley. And I'm telling you, I've been down there, and blacks are telling me, whites are moving into your neighborhood and pushing you out. HollywoodHighlands.org.
All right, thank you very much. We actually have another card on item 23 as well. So we're going to add 23 to that. And Brian Barajas. Brian, if you want to come up. And Brian, you've got cards on 23 and 26. If you want to go ahead and speak to... We'll add 26 because there's no other cards except for yours, so we'll add 23 and 26 are your two.
Okay. Well, I'm in direct opposition to item 23. I think there's just too much of this sports and entertainment, not enough education. Item 23, if you look at section 3, and I'll read it, it says... present and adopt the accompanying ordinance approved by the city attorney amending the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment District specific plan to increase the maximum number of alcohol use approvals for alcoholic beverage sales for online consumption from 30 to 35 and allowing the service of alcohol to begin at 8 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. for 8 of the establishments. Now, I think it was last week that a gentleman came up, and I am in direct opposition of increase of alcohol consumption and also this entire item in general. So item 26, this, and I hope this is correct in my reflection of this item, is that it just seems to me that you're taking Marquis Harris Dawson, Price, and Herb Weston's district and just making some sort of a plan investing $16 million to bring up a housing development for these districts. My reflection is if now actions are being taken that you're joining as some sort of concept to join together to work out your districts to help the community, I think this is a good item. And on the opposition of that is that you have to be careful how you actually make sure that these development projects, you have to make sure that none of it adheres to just development projects and putting anybody in there. You have to also provide other means of placement of the individuals who you'll place there, as in jobs and development programs that will educate the individuals who will reside in that location. So I think it's a good item, 26. But please, just think of the future when you do these things.
Great. Thank you very much. We do have another card that just came in on 1I, except we're going to continue that. There's a request from the council office to continue 1I for 2 weeks, but the recess, so that takes us to
November 10th?
November 10th. Okay, that'll be the order without objection on 1I. On the remaining items, seeing no other cards, we'll go ahead and open the roll on those. That's 1, 3, 23, 24, and 26. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those items are approved. Thank you very much. With that, let's go ahead and take item 19. Mr. Kretz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to ask that we reconsider item 18 and continue it for 2 weeks.
Back to that, we've got 19 before us, colleagues. We'll go ahead and open the roll on 19.
And, Mr. President, for item 19, amending motion 19A has been circulated.
That's great. Thank you very much. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
There's a request to reconsider item 18. We'll go ahead and open the roll for reconsideration.
Excuse me, Mr. President, at this time, would you also like to reconsider item 10, the ordinance?
We'll go ahead and, let's take 18 first for reconsideration because it's going to be continuance. So we'll go ahead and take, that is a reconsideration on 10 as well. Yeah, so 18 and 10, I apologize. You are 100% correct. We'll go ahead and open the roll for reconsideration of both those items. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Great. Okay, thank you very much. Now, 18, there's a request to continue that for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That takes us to November 10th because of the recess. Without objection, that'll be the order. And I'd like to recognize Councilmember Krikorian.
Thank you, Mr. President. Forthwith on number 25, please, Mr. President.
Forthwith on item 25 per Mr. Krikorian. That'll be the order without objection, except for the fact that... No, we should be good on that. Okay? And then on item 10, we're going to go ahead and take up item 10 now. Please open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Great. Thank you very much. And that takes us to item 5. We have one card. Monica?
Good morning.
Good
Morning. My name is Monica Mejia, and I'm with Link Housing. We're a nonprofit. We do affordable housing. The development that is going to be built on this site is an affordable housing development with 125 units and 63 units for the homeless and chronic homeless. Thank you so much for your support of this action item today, and thank you for your support to the affordable housing community.
Great. Thank you very much. Having no other cards on item 5, we'll go ahead and open the roll on item 5. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Great. Thank you very much. That's approved. I'd like to recognize Councilmember Fuentes for special introduction.
President, nuestros amigos de Tasco, ¿dónde están? ¿Se ponen de pie, por favor? Bienvenidos. On behalf of Councilmember Blumenfield, I'd like to welcome the Friends of Tasco, the City of Tasco, and the delegation to Council Chambers this morning. Thank you, Mr. Englander. Give them a round of applause. Tasco de Alarcón, Guerrero, Mexico became a sister city to Canoga Park in Council District 3 in June of 1963. Since then, these two communities have enjoyed a close personal relationship supported by an annual personal visitation between families of the two cities. The Friends of Tasco have helped build and equip more than 15 schools in Tasco, Mexico. This has led to a meaningful understanding of culture and customs, and obviously a great exchange between Canoga Park and the community of Tasco, and we're very excited to have him here, so thank you very much. Bienvenidos a Los Angeles.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you so much. And if Councilmember LaBonge was here, he would tell you to go up to the Bradley Tower all the way to the top. Make sure you take a full tour of City Hall as well. And thank you for visiting. We would truly appreciate it. With that, we're going to go ahead and open it up for general public comment. John Walsh, followed by Brian Barajas. Please come on up.
John Walsh at HollywoodHighlands.org. Last night at Holman Baptist Church, the shit hit the fan. The city, you better believe there's two cities here, one west of La Brea, one east of La Brea. And what happened there? Black Lives Matter. Even Bernie Sanders says it. They took over the meeting. The cops didn't know what to do. The cops ran. The safety of the mayor of the city of Los Angeles was in danger last night. And you want you want the Olympics to show up here? He was so scared, the mayor, he started chanting the chants of Black Lives Matter. And what was the bad thing? And no one was hurt and no one was arrested. And what did they keep saying over and over again? Fire Chief Beck. If you get rid of him, maybe this city won't erupt into another race riot the way it has several times before, but you don't give a damn. This is an all-white jury.
Now, at the LaRouche PAC website, we have a headline, LaRouche Let's Win. I think the fraud of the Democratic Party and the uprising thereof, and also there's no leadership as Republicans are not actually doing any damn thing about impeaching the President of the United States with the report of the drone policy of Obama called the Drone Papers. Obviously, the intention of our organization is to awaken the American people to realize what is at hand is you have a murderer called a president. The problem with that is a lot of people don't want to believe it. Well, believe it. But the other side is, what are we going to do about this country? We do have a population that does not get the reality that the BRICS, China, Russia are doing something. Russia's defeating ISIS. We have to join with the Glass-Steagall Act.
Great. Thank you very much. That concludes general public comment. Colleagues, do we have any announcements? Seeing none, do we have any adjourning motions? We have one adjourning motion. Okay. If we can get Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have an announcement? Yes.
Actually, I just have a request that item 28 go urgent forthwith.
Forthwith. So that'll be forthwith without objection. That'll be the order. No problem. Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any announcements, colleagues? Seeing none, do we have adjourning motions?
And Mr. President, Council has motions for posting and referral.
We'll go ahead and post and refer those. No adjourning motions. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Be safe.